right, this is Nick Davis, defense coordinator at Rose-Hulman, here to talk to you a little bit about our six-down front involving some simulated pressures. There's my contact information. There's my Gmail email that you'll always be able to get to me. So let's get into it. So over the last 4 years, we've liked our six-down fronts on third down. 2015, we were 12th in the nation at 27% on third down. We played the number 45 ranked third down offense in the nation. We always like to put stuff in categories for our kids so they can realize who we are and what we do. So that year we were better on third down than Alabama. 2016, we were 89th in the nation in third down defense at 35%. We played the number 33 third down offense in the nation. That year we were the same as Auburn. 2017, we were 24th in the nation in third down defense, which 28%. We played the number 8 third down offense in the nation. That year we were better than Clemson. This season we were 38th in the nation, third down defense at 31%. We played 3 teams in the top 27 on third down offense. We were better than Ohio State. So we always talk to our kids, and these teams, you know, they don't necessarily matter or relate to us. But anytime you can say you're doing stuff from 4 teams that have won the last 5 national championships at the Division I levels, I think your kids can kind of buy in. So third down's huge for us. So that's one way we get our kids to buy in is comparing ourselves to some of the top Division I teams and what they did in that same stat category over the last few years. So over the last 4 years, when we've got in our six-down front, we did it 157 plays. I'm a huge guy when you go to clinics. You know, a lot of these coaches has great film. You go back and you look at the statistics, and you're like, wow, maybe that's not as good. I watched a great clinic one time on 3-step, and these corners were just breaking up on hitches, and they were talking about how great they were. I went back and checked their record, and they got the ball thrown on them for, 450 yards that year. So anytime I go to a clinic, I want to show you the bad and, all the good, and I want to give you statistics on how it can fit into your program. So there was 134 pass plays against our six-down front. Those went for an average of 2.6 yards per play. Only 22 runs. Most of the time we were in our six-down front. This is third down, but it could be third and short. But we had 22 runs, draws, any sort of inside zone maybe. Those went for a negative 0.6 yards per play. On third down, we were 22%. I feel like a bad defensive coordinator because overall, I think over the last 4 years, we were 31% efficient on our offenses were 31% efficient against us. So I feel like a bad defensive coordinator that this six-down stuff is been really tough for offenses to pick up first downs, and we haven't used it enough. On fourth down, offenses are picking it up. First downs 31% of the time. Only 7 plays over 20 yards in 4 seasons, and 102 of those plays were 0 or negative yard plays. We had 7 interceptions, 12 sacks. Only 3 touchdowns scored against us of the 157 plays in our six-down front, and we scored 2 touchdowns ourselves. So we're a very big category team. I coach at a school of all really smart engineers, anywhere from 4.0, 30 ACTs, up to 36 ACTs. But our kids are smart in math and science. They're not necessarily smart at football. So we want to make everything as simple as possible. So these are some base ways that we can get into six-down fronts. First thing is Apple. Apple starts with an A, tells our Mike and our Will to get in the A gap. Everyone else knows where to align based on that first letter. Banana starts with a B, telling our Mike and Will to get in the B gap. Cherry starts with a C, telling our Mike and Will to get in the C. You can see our Mike's over here in the D gap. We have rules built in to always have the outside edge in our six down front. Apricot's a fruit that starts with a A. We're going to go and overload to the A side, the tailback's what we call. Fig starts with an F, so we're getting a field overload. Berry starts with a B, so we get a boundary overload. Essentially, we can create as many different fronts we want the whole entire season. We like to keep it base when we first install it. But, later in the year, you can go raspberry and you get a field overload to the right. Lemon, a field overload to the left. So by having categories and sticking with our kids love math and science, so they're huge sticklers on never breaking the rules. Well, here at Rose-Hulman, we never break the rule. So we don't have to come up with a movement or, something to get our guys in this situation. We yell out the fruit. Everyone knows where to align. And then we will tag a movement potentially or a coverage. So our guys know if we're rushing 6, rushing 5, rushing 4, or rushing 3 based off of our coverage. So that's the base fronts. These are different things you'll see in the video as we go through it. So first I want to show you the biggest play we've had against our fruit fronts in 4 years. So here it is. We are in our orange front, which was a game plan for this week. We're just in a normal 4-down front. Orange told us that our Mike and Will go outside of that front. In was a tag for us to get in 2 eyes. Mexico was a stunt we were running here, and we were playing our base Ohio coverage. So essentially our linebacker is going to own the tailback and man, and we'll get a low hole player. So we're trying to get a simulated pressure in here, maybe getting a full slide in one direction. We do not. They drop back. This is against Franklin College, the #1 offense in the nation this season. And we actually do a really nice job across the board. Our corner does a nice job of forcing an outside release, wedging him to the sideline. He's in great phase. All right, but this is a heck of a throw, heck of a catch. Again, it didn't go for a touchdown there, but showing the end zone shot here of our 6th down, trying to get a full slide. We don't. All right. So next we got to come back and, loop our guy in and bring a 5-man rush if we wanted. But we made them throw a very low completion, and they executed on us. The next play goes for 29 yards. Here we're in our apple front. Our linebackers lined up an A-gap. We're running our Italy stunt, which is just a simple TE stunt with their defensive line. We're playing cover 3 behind it. All these fronts, you can play a variety of different coverages here. We're manned up on the backside is our trips adjustment. Line up the linebackers. We're going to drop out and play cover 3. And then allow our guys to run a stunt here. Because we get the full slide, we got what we want. We're one-on-one with the tailback. We got to be able to win here. We got to finish 1 missed tackle, 2, 3, 4 missed tackles. All right, it's 3rd and 14. We'd be off the field if we got one of those tackles. And then we come in and get a unnecessary hit there. So it goes 29 yards. All right, the last play over 20 yards against us. This was 2016. We're 3rd and 10. We're in our apple front. We're playing cover 0. We're manned across the board. Drop back pass. Our DB gets beat. He's peeking inside to the QB instead of playing his man. And it goes for 28 yards. Again, we're in our apple front. We're playing cover 0 here. We don't win on any of our matchups up front. They stay in max protect. We had bad technique by the DB, and it goes for 28 yards. Excuse me, our last play, 25 yards. We had 4 plays over 20 yards. 3rd and 7 here. We're in our apple front. We get out of it, hoping to get a check from the offensive line. So ways to get late into our 6-down fronts or get out of our 6-down fronts early. we're playing cover 3 here. So we're bringing a 3-man rush, and they get us on the bender. Our linebacker does a bad job there. And this kind of scheme on me. So the first one you saw, the big long play against Franklin, in my mind, it was really good execution by the offense. The next play was bad tackling. The third concept was bad technique by the DBs. All right, this is a bad call on my part because they had ran 4 verticals and this bender on our linebacker already. I got to come up and play man coverage with one of our defensive backs. But goes for 25 yards. So here, we're in Apple front. We dropped out late, hoping that they would get a check. We're going to drop our Bob linebacker out of here. All right, we got a 3-man rush. And our linebacker just didn't drop deep enough. And easy first down for them. Now to all the good stuff, all right? So one thing, my head coach, firm believer, and lets me do what we need to do to be successful. Anytime you're going to get in a 6-down front and be super aggressive, you can see none of those 4 plays went for touchdowns. So I think that is a plus. And the rest of the presentation can be all the good that's come of our 6-down front. So here, it's 3rd and 16. We're in our Apple front. Our linebacker's in A-gap. We're going to play cover 0 here. And you see it creates a lot of havoc. We've gone back and forth. This was early on. This was 2016. So our safety came up to play the tailback. Now we'll leave our safety deep so it looks like we're playing our base cover 1 defense. So we can either bring all 6 or drop them out, and we'll look the same in terms of our defensive backs. Check out the end zone shot here. So it's all about creating matchups, getting your linebackers where you think there may be a weaker offensive lineman. Here they choose to block the tailback with our 3 technique, which I like. This kid led our team in sacks this year. So we like that matchup. And we flushed them to the kid who led our team in sacks the next, 2 and 3 years. So nice job there on 3rd and 16, getting him to 4th down. Here we're 3rd and 12. All right. We're in our Apple front playing our Michigan coverage, which is cover 0. We're man on the tailback with our safety. Everyone else is locked up. Because of the bunch out here, our DBs are running an in and out concept. So we see a variety of different things. So we'll want to get in our fruit front and see if we're going to get full slide, if they're going to let one of the linebackers go on the tailback. Here they're going to let their running back block our linebacker, walked up in the B gap from across, which we felt like was a good matchup for us. So we get the sack and we get the holding penalty right here. But doing a nice job of creating some havoc there at the quarterback on 3rd and 12 for a minus 12-yard sack. Here we're 3rd and 7. All right, we're Apple, Michigan. So now we'd made the adjustment in this year that our safety was deep where he normally aligned, and he's got the tailback and man coverage. I think this is a huge advantage in the 5 defensive back structure, that if you're going to play cover 0, have that safety play that tailback. If we were going to drop out and play zone coverage or our cover 1, we're going to look the exact same as what we look right now. DBs make a nice break there. There's the end zone shot. We're an Apple front. One thing that you'll see on film is we teach our linebackers to get in 3-point stances. Sometimes we get confusion between the offensive linemen, like who is a linebacker, who's a defensive lineman. We'll have D linemen in the 30s. We have linebackers in the 50s. We have defensive linemen in the 50 numbers. They're all pretty similar body types. We don't have huge defensive linemen. Our biggest guys are usually in the 230 to 240 pound range. Some of our linebackers will weigh 220 pounds. So they're similar body types. So maybe mess with an O-line in terms of generally they might say, hey, let's cut the D lineman loose because he's the slowest. All of our guys generally look alike. Get in the three-point stance. We feel like they can explode out of it. Our linebackers practice the three-point stance every single day. The nice part about that, too, is if you ever get in a pinch, your defensive line or your linebackers may be able to play defensive line for you. So here we get the full slide. We're one-on-one with the tailback. Quarterback feels the pressure. We do a nice job of penetrating right there, and we're 3rd and 7 and off the field. Now we're 3rd and 12. We get an empty check because they're 3-by-2 here. One of our favorite empty checks is to get into our 6-down front, play cover 0. They got 5 guys to block our 6, be a race to the QB. Quarterback has to get rid of it really quick. One thing that we talk about is get in an empty formation, get tight, all right? If it's not an empty formation, we want to get wide with our C-gap players to make those tackles kick to us. If it's empty, we want to get as tight as possible because we know, hey, there's 5 of them, there's 6 of us. Let's be quick to the QB on the guy that is unblocked, all right? Here they leave this guy unblocked. He's a little bit late out of his stance. But the quarterback knows, hey, I'm hot, I got to get rid of it. It's 3rd and 12, all right, and we're off the field there. 4th and 15, our Apple front playing cover 0. Again, this was early, so our safety moved up to the tailback, but now our safety is going to be hovering around the sticks. We get full slide, and we get a nice drop. Sometimes as a D coordinator, you got to get lucky. But we get full slide. We got to get better as a defense of beating this tailback in one-on-one. But our DN tries to bully him. I love in high school, unless you're down in Texas or any other state that allows their running backs to cut. If you're in a state that doesn't allow your running back to cut, man, you can be super aggressive with this D lineman against the tailback, and he knows, the D lineman knows that he's not going to get cut well. 4th and 15, throwing. Now, one reason we like the DB deep now is when he sees this guy on full slide, he's already deep. He knows tailback's blocking. He can add on. So you're essentially playing a cover 1 defense. We got a guy deep. 3rd and 17 here. We're Apple, Michigan. This is against the screen. Our safety's got to do a little bit better job of being patient against the tailback for the screen. But we have not been screened for a big play in 4 years in our 6-down fronts. So we get a club, so our nose guard identifies them. We get a nice leg whip from our linebacker, and 3rd and 17, we're out of the drive. Now, the key to all this is you can't just sit here and play cover 0 every single snap. So if one possession we were playing cover 0, maybe the next 3rd down we're coming back and we're playing a cover 3 or a cover 4 or a cover 1 defense. So we don't line up every single play and play cover 0. I know the cover 0s here is first on the presentation, but it's probably the least amount of coverage that we'll play in our 6-down front. 3rd and 6 here, Apple, Michigan again. This is with our younger guys in the game against the drive route. We got to get better at defeating the cut. There it is. 3rd and 6 against a quick under route. 3rd and 8 here. This is the 4th play of the game. Excuse me, 3rd play of the game against the #1 offense in the nation in 2017. First empty play, hey, get an Apple, Michigan. Play cover 0. This guy played for the Detroit Lions. That's fine. They got 5 guys. We got 6 rushers. Come after him here. It's a game of chance. Now, obviously, against empty, you got to have more than just this. If they're sitting here picking you apart, you got to come back with a little counter plan, have something else in the arsenal. Our kids got to get better at identifying, hey, base rule is with a tailback in the backfield, get wide. Now it's empty. Get tight here, all right? One guy is going to be unblocked. So this guy is probably, 3 to 4 yards from the tackle. Look at the end of this play how close he is to the quarterback. Hands off the ball. If we're tight, maybe it's a strip sack, all right? So we'll tell our guys, hey, they go empty, get super tight, you can affect this football game, all right, on one play. This team will challenge us on empty every single year. Generally, it's 1 or 2 times, and they get out of it. Other teams, they'll be empty 4, 5, 6, 7 times if they're going to get the coverage they want. Here's against Mount Union, first game of the year this year for us. So this was a Apple Watch call. So what we did was we signaled in, watch, our linebackers waited for an indication, and then we walked down. Now I think we're probably a little quick here with the tailback on the shift and the snap. The refs didn't see it that way, but we're one-on-one. All right, maybe a hold right here if I'm being picky. But we're playing cover 0 against the team that got the second in the nation on 3rd and 15 and got them in a field goal situation. They're going to let us one-on-one. We got to win. We got to beat this block right here. We got to get better at this. He does a nice job. All right, but now we got to get our leg out. But good coverage on the back end, and we get to a 4th and 15 there. All right. Here we're going to walk down late. I don't know why our field linebacker didn't get down there. You're going to see him come a little bit late here. Here's the same. So we're 3rd and 10 here in our Apple front. They saw the quarterback, made his check the O-line. We had a tendency on the center, walk down, and we're one-on-one across the board. We free our guys up to run some natural stunts here. They say, hey, if, one guy goes inside, make him right. And we do a nice job there on the natural stunt. Here we're Apple, Michigan again. One-on-one with the tailback. We got to be better. But the ball's out. Great coverage. Great play by the DB here. Running outside release. Wedge him to the sideline. And again, 14 is playing man coverage on the tailback. Doing a great job. Hey, he blocked. I can add on. He's our make sure that a touchdown doesn't go against us guy. So easy for our guys to get lined up. From the pistol, they were going to let us go one-on-one with the tailback. We got to punish this guy. We got to get better. That's one thing in our off-season evaluation with our linebackers we had last year. They were not very good against that tailback. Sorry, here we go from the end zone again. But you can see the difference. We want to be wide when there's a tailback in the backfield. Make these tackles kick to us. Fourth and 4 here. Now we're running a stunt up front with our linebackers. Playing cover 0. Our DBs do a nice job covering down. Let's check out. the front here. Now they're going to let our B-gap guy go, I believe. Communicate, make them talk. We're running a pick stunt on the center. So we're taking these two guys, and we're one-on-one with the tailback, making that ball come out really quick. Here we're in an apple front. This was something nice we did coverage-wise. In this game, we were going to drop these guys out. We called this a read stunt. So when they saw that center turn his head, one guy was going to add on, the other guy is going to own the tailback and man coverage. DBs do a nice job covering down. The receiver makes a heck of a grab, just it's out of bounds, which is good for the defense. So drop out, watch 56. He's going to go help out because the linemen are always taught, hey, go find work. Once he goes to help out, boom, we're adding back in. We're getting hit on the QB, and we're making hard throws. 3rd and 10, we're off the field there. So here's some of our drop pressures. So we're 3-by-1. We're playing a cover 1. We're going to rush 4 guys. One guy is going to own the tailback and man coverage. Our other guy is going to be our low hole player here on the drop. We get a natural stunt. This wasn't called, but I should have called it. So our guy's natural. So one guy's upfield. He sees that Kaelen's way ahead of him. He doesn't need to work outside because he knows the level. So we'll talk about protection with our guys a bunch. So he comes underneath. Kaelen will make him right. Happens to be the side to center. Doesn't go to help. And we get a nice sack there on 3rd and 7 for -9 yards. We got to do better as a defense of trying to engage 59. So our low hole player should engage 59 to take him kind of out of that help land on both sides, while 40 goes and takes the tailback and man coverage. So that's something that we got to work on and coach our guys up a little bit. This was a few years ago. Same game. Apple, we're going to drop in coverage. Now it's 2-by-2. Our linebackers are going to drop to both inside number 2, and they're going to wait for the tailback to out-leverage them. And great job by our DBs there, 3rd and 10. Quarterback feels a little pressure. We get 4 one-on-ones while the center is thinking and the tailback think, oh, we got to stay in. The other nice part is we've kept the tailback. This team was a huge free release of the tailback. We've kept him in long enough that he's not a factor at this point to check the ball down to. And for us, this was our Bob linebacker. We can move him around a bunch. We can match him up against any offensive lineman that we wanted. And we got a great matchup of a fast linebacker. You can see he's in a 3-point stance against this tackle. Nice job by our DB there. Here we're 3rd and 6. It's a 3-by-1 formation, so one linebacker's got the tailback. One linebacker is going to drop in the low hole. We get a motion. Everybody's covered. All right, offensive guys might say this is pass interference. DB's coach is going to say this is great coverage. We're getting the full slide here, though. It's a good clip of staying outside the formation. So we're one-on-one with the tailback. Got to make that guy pay. Maybe a little grabby. Glad that ref didn't see that. 3rd and 6, we're making them punt. Here we're in our apple front. It's 2-by-2 formation. Linebackers are going to drop to inside of number 2 on both sides. And again, if you haven't noticed, our DBs, the safeties are playing outside leverage. All right. The corners this year we're playing inside, but now we're playing outside leverage with our corners. We love to press. Our middle field player will play anywhere from 8 8 to 15 yards based on the game plan of that week. Drop out. Get some one-on-ones, and we end up there with an interception. You can see the sidelines jacked. Coach Palmatier there, pretty excited. Here's the end zone shot of that. So you really kind of dictate what an offense, has to do. Are they going to full slide? Or are they going to put the tailback versus a defensive lineman? Or are they going to put them against a linebacker? What made me really like this stuff is we had a great offensive line coach, Brian White. He's now at Hampton. I love to mess with him in practice, so we created, 15 different fruits and just, saw what he liked to, how to block it. And, hey, that's where the, get our linebackers in three-point stances came from, because he was always talking to the O-line about blocking guys and three-point stances and let the tailback have the guy in a two-point. So, hey, get them all in three-point stances. Let the O-line talk, communicate, mess with them a little bit here. There they go. They're not communicating. The O-line thinks maybe it's full slide. The tailback doesn't know what's going on. We get some unblocked players, hit on the QB, and an interception there in our first game in 2015 in this defense. Here we're 3rd and 10. We're going to drop out again, 2-by-2. Nice incomplete pass here. We get to the end zone shot there. Make these guys kick. One huge benefit here is most of the time the tailback is slow to get out on his route. So we've slowed that down. So they're blocking 6, we're rushing 4, and we got extra coverage players. Do a nice job across the board there on 3rd and 10. Here's against the run, 3rd and 6. Against Speedo. If I got any offensive guys watching later, you might think, hey, this is a great check. We got to slow play this a little bit better, but we got a man coverage player right there on the tailback. He's got to finish on the tackle. We were in a monsoon in this game, but we get a false start. Again, this happens several times that the O-line gets a little antsy, and we'll get penalties here in our 6 down front. Great sight to see a bunch of guys in the football. Here we're 3rd and 11. We're an apple front. We're going to run a stunt on both sides. Our TE stunt. It's 3-by-1, so one guy's our low hole player. One guy's got our tailback. We're in great situation across the board on all of our matchups. Great coverage right here on our DB. But here they were going to let our linebacker in the A-gap one-on-one with that tailback, all right? So creating things over the years to allow this tailback to, rush. Put us in a little bit better situation there, watching the film. Hey, we got to punish these guys for letting both linebackers go in the A-gap. 3rd and 3 here. Here we're running one of my favorite stunts. We got this from Don Brown at Michigan. We're going to run our field player is off the edge. We're going to run an India stunt. So he's the tackle going first. We're going to loop this guy, and we're going to drop our linebackers out. Here we go, playing our man coverage. Now, again, you'll see some zone clips. We can play zone behind all this, but he's first. He's going to loop, drop him out. You own the tailback and man coverage. Backside. All right, we got our just a 3 technique and our 5 technique rushing. All right, a little bit wider, which we want. We're full slide. He's laid off the ball, but we're one-on-one with the tailback, which we want. Linebacker does a nice job of getting in the window and batting that up. All right, for all your quarters guys out here, we're playing a quarters defense. It is 4th and 22. All right, so we're playing a special concept. He'll help on 3 vertical. He's locked up on 1. These guys have a 2-3 read, a Palms defense essentially on 2 and 3. We're man over here. We're going to drop guys out, underneath player to the boundary, underneath player to the field. We're in our apple front. What are they going to do? Full slide. We're one-on-one with the tailback with one of our really good defensive ends. Making this guy pay. Again, this is the hot thing, these simulated pressures this year. And this is super easy to get to. Hey, keep 6. You're one-on-one with the tailback. That's what you want. And we got extra guys in coverage. Here we're 3rd and 4. This is cover 3 defense for all my cover 3 guys out there. The one biggest thing here is our linebackers got to go because now they are a zone player. Before, when we were playing all over man, they were just extra bonus guys. Now they're a zone player. And actually, excuse me, take this back. This is our version where we're rushing 6. All right, we're going to have 2 guys underneath watching the quarterback's eyes, 3 guys deep. So essentially our corners, or we call them tough third players, or they're essentially playing man. Our 2 underneath players are watching the QB's eyes, and we're expecting the ball to come out hot. So we got to do a little bit better job of having vision on the cue. You can see he's kind of locked into his man. This guy's doing a little bit better job over here, but the ball's got to come out quick. See the end zone shot of that one. Ball's got to come out quick here. I don't know if for some reason we do not have the end zone of that. Just have the wide on that one. Let's see what they did up front. Leaving our B-gap player. We got to defeat that cut a little bit better, but they're leaving their our D tackle against their running back in the B-gap. Here we're playing cover 3. Our guys are going to drop out. It's trips, so we're locked on in man, deep third player, deep third player. We talk about inside 1, inside 2. Our boundary linebackers man on the tailback here. See the end zone shot here, 3rd and 16. We're working a stunt, our TE, one of our most popular. One huge coaching point here on the TE. We work a chop, all right, chop rip. You can see 30 going to chop the guard's arm, all right. So chop, ideally we want to rip up. So if the tackle or guard had his hand on you, we're chopping it down on the rip up. We're getting rid of it. And then we want to post on this tackle shoulder to bring you through. So you can see both sides doing a great job. All right. I think we have over 120 sacks in the last 4 years. And I would say probably 35% of our sacks have come on some version of this stunt. All right. Chop rip. Post on the tackle, all right? When you feel that your post has come underneath, it's too late to communicate. On this side with the extra center, you're probably not going to get home, but potentially on the side, the tailback releases because he thinks, oh, my guy didn't come. We've got home probably of the, like I said, 35% of sacks, 30% of them came on the side without the center here. Right, forcing the ball out, get to a 4th and 16. All right, now we're into our banana section. So our linebackers in B-gap, 3rd and 12 here. Banana, we're playing our cover 1 defense. One linebacker is a low hole player. The other linebacker owns the tailback and man coverage. Here we're going to work our perimeter guy is first, and our interior player is going to be our looper. Our low hole player does a great job. There's some stuff going to be open over here, but he's in a position where the quarterback has to get air on that football and go over the top of him. Right now, this guy is open if he's not there. All right, we got a finish there on the sack, but 3rd and 12 with a minus 23-yard intentional grounding. Not too bad there. So here our coaching point is to take one vertical step upfield, come across the tackle's face, chop rip. All right, not a great job over there, a little bit better over here. And our interior player is going to loop around, make it difficult. And again, this is a linebacker for us, all right? Here in the A-gap. Fastest kid in our box, all right, playing the inside here. Holding ground. Does a nice job of picking for him around the horn. All right. Got to finish for the stats, but, I'll take an intentional grounding as well. Here we get the banana drop Akron. So one thing that we have built in is if the tailback blocks in some of our coverage, the linebacker will add in. So we're in a 6 down. So if we think that we're going to get full slide, we'll drop him out. And if he sees the tailback block, he'll add in. So we're 6 down. We're banana. That's our low hole player. Our tailback player is man-on-man on the running back. Our low hole guy takes the crosser, which allows us to double team the dig. We're playing essentially Ripley's match, and they ran an under there. So we communicated it. Great. He goes to guard the tailback. It's full slide. Boom, add in. And the perfect thing is this tackle's probably getting his, butts chewed out all week. If he would have came back to help on this side, hey, it's full slide. You got to work to the left here as the tackle. And if, but now he's sitting here waiting for stuff, and we're essentially 2 unblocked players there on our banana drop Akron. Got us in a good situation. Same call here. Our banana drop Akron, 6 down. This guy owns the tailback and man. He's our low hole player. And initially this guy is open, but our linebacker, I think, takes that throw away. This guy's a little bit better covered and almost get the interception there on the deflection. 3rd and 4. Again, they were going to let it was a free release. They were going to let our linebacker in the B gap go and hit that QB. So it's a guessing game. We're getting off the field. Here we're 3rd and 3. We're in our banana front. This is 3-by-1. So low hole player. This guy owns the tailback and man coverage. Checking the protection here. We're going to attach tight end. DB makes a heck of a play here. Let's check out the pro. We're outside the attached tight end. These guys are going to be dropping out. That's our low hole player. This guy's got the tailback and man coverage. So we're a one-on-one against everyone. The center cuts. We're getting a hit on the QB. DB makes a great play there on 3rd and 3. Here's against 4 verts. Doing a great job. Corner makes a great play there. Again, easy to get into. Simple rules. You can play any coverage behind any of this stuff, but it's just a guessing game, all right? We get what we wanted. The tailback not to release fast here. We get our edge players one-on-one. We get the quarterback getting rid of the football probably before he wanted, and great coverage there behind. Here we're dropping out. We don't do a very good job of covering this guy, but sometimes you get lucky as a defensive coordinator. Check out the end zone shot. Again, everything you're watching is all the best plays from the last 4 years. Regardless, you saw all the bad plays for us and what has happened. Here I'll watch this one a little bit more thorough. Here we're playing quarters coverage. So they're playing cover 2 over here, a cover 2 read. To this side, we were doubling number 2, playing man on that guy. Check out the end zone shot here. Dropping our B guys out. This was our young cats at the end of a game, closing out at the end of a game. Great to see, the strip sack by some of your younger players, and they really like it. Our JV coaches love it against the JV offenses that we face. It's the go-to to get in the fruit front. We're 3rd and 17 here. We're going to play quarters coverage. We got a Palms defense on 2 and 3. We're manned up on number 1. Here we're double teaming boundary 1 there. Let's check out the stunt. Drop these guys out. We're one-on-one on the edge, which we want. And getting a nice hit on the QB. Here we're playing cover 3 defense. Deep third. Our inside of 1 player, inside of 1. Our linebackers are inside of 2 players here. 4th and 15. All right. Here's PI on us. Let's see the end zone. Oh, we don't have the end zone of that. You guys can be the judge at home if you thought this was really pass interference. I thought we did a nice job. There goes our first shutout as a program over the last 4 years. Here we're now in our cherry front. So our linebackers are dropped in the C gap. They're going to drop out. We get it sprint out. So I don't freak out. I'm not a huge believer that you always have to have a C gap rusher. I think the idea of having the tackle kick out, obviously this is sprint out, will open stuff up for your B gap players here. Here we're South Carolina out of our cherry drop. We're playing a Palms defense over here. We're 2 for 3. They're going to sort it out. He'll make them right. And we're dropping these guys out. Boundary player, our field dropper. Great job by our DB there on 3rd and 3. Again, I would get a little bit wider. We've talked about these guys doing a little bit better job of taking a step to get that tackle to kick before they retreat. And then, we always tell our guys, hey, if you're unblocked, it's a screen, so he freaks out a little bit. But this is the one situation, hey, they were just they're free release in 7, or maybe he was confused because of the communication. They were going to let you hit the QB, go take your hit, and we're off the field there on 4th and 3. Here we're 3rd and 11. We're in our orange front. Again, it was just a normal 4-down front. Bring the linebackers outside of that. This is against empty. We're playing cover 0. They got 5 guys to block our 6. All right. So we said make an inside move if this tackle steps out to you. And there's our free hitter. Make the QB pay. or empty. 3rd and 20. So we have a coverage where if the tailback swings, here we're playing cover 1 defense across the board. All right, man, 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 deep half or deep middle of the field player. And our edge players, our linebackers, we're in our orange front, are responsible for the tailback if he flares. So he's going to be a little bit hesitant because he's waiting to see if the tailback's going to run a route. But here on 3rd and 20, almost getting the safety here. We're running a stunt, which is really nice right here. Picking the center. And we get one guy free. And our linebacker, if we were playing cover 0, our linebacker would be more aggressive here. And maybe we'd have a potential chance to get a safety. But here we're flare controlling the tailback. Here we're in our orange front. This linebacker owns the tailback and man coverage. This one is drop into the low hole. We'll man across the board. We motion. All right. Our base rule would be the check cover 0, continue to rush, bring the safety out in man coverage. They communicated really quick. Hey, I got the tailback. And 3rd and 8, do a nice job here. They were trying a little quick screen to the tailback. I think 47 had a chance to intercept it, but going for the hit. Here we're in an orange front. Going to run our stun here in the middle to Mexico. We're playing Akron. So I believe it's 3-by-1. One linebacker's got the tailback in man. The other linebacker is going to drop to the hole. And drops are great too on 3rd down. See how our stunt looked. Not our best, all right? I'd like 30 to be a little bit quicker on our stunt. But punting the football. Here we're going to run our middle stunt again, all right? Over the last few years, what I've liked is in our 6th down having at least one side run a stunt in case you get a big-on-big protection. The other side, not in case you get a full slide. So having kind of a plan for, if they full slide it, if they go big on big, if they insert, having a few different options here. Another incomplete pass. Let's check out the front. Our middle stunt here, not great. We get one-on-one with the tailback. But end up our picker comes free. You can see he once he gets through, he posts on this center. He's through on the rush, making the QB get rid of that. Again, that's a linebacker for us. All right. We're in a package with 4 linebackers out on the field. Linebacker, 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 linebacker. All right. So 4 LBs, 2 defensive linemen. Again, the big hot topic is the simulated pressure, positionless football. Teach all 6 of your box guys where to line up, teach them the stunts, and you can play out here with 6 linebackers, 6 defensive linemen, heck, a hybrid DB. Huge part of our program is we teach everyone to rush the passer regardless. And if you can do that, we'll find a spot for you in our 3rd down package. This is a spot for 52. He started for us this year, first team all-conference guy. When he was young as a sophomore, this is a way to get this kid out on the field. He had an older guy who was one of the best players on our team in front of him in his position. But because he could rush, because he had that valuable asset, we were able to get him on the field on our 3rd down package. 3rd and 16 here. We're in our orange front, running our stunt up in the middle. Again, we like this stunt because if it's not full slide, usually we get 3 for 3. Here we don't. It's 2 for 2. He's our low hole player. He's man on the tailback. We get lucky because he goes rogue and doesn't cover the guy. This is a screen. But luckily, 42 recognizes it at some point that it's a screen. And he was going to get out there if that was getting caught there on 3rd and 16. So they almost got us. Orange Mexico Akron here. We're going to drop to the low hole. We'll play man coverage on the tailback, running a middle stunt here. And incomplete pass. Didn't get our middle stunt. We got to do a better job of teaching 42. Just stay outside. Stay outside. But we're off the field again. Here we're in our it's a 5 down front. We broke. He initially lined out here because of his coverage responsibility. We're playing Texas. He felt that he needed to come over here to help himself out in his coverage. So we'll have some rules. Hey, if you feel uncomfortable where you're at by what coverage you need to play because of their formation and how they presented it, because if we were 2-by-2, he's an inside 2 player. Now we're 3-by-1. He's got to get all the way over here to number 3. Well, get out of it. Put yourself in the best situation. We do a nice job across the board, dropping everyone out. We're 1-on-1, 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 2-on-1 here. And created some havoc and getting the sack there. Here's the end zone shot of that. Doing a nice job in our cover 3. One of my favorite plays of all time. All right, we're in our big front, so we're a field overload. We're a wide 5-5-3, linebackers in the A and the B gap, a backside defensive end. We're going to drop these guys out. We're going to rush off the edge. Our B gap player is going to charge the B, and our 5 technique is going to come in. We got this from Don Brown in Michigan. They really hurt Penn State in 2016 with this. And we ended up with a strip sack here. Again, we got to do a better job of tagging these guys, tag 59 and get out. But we're getting full slide, putting 55 in a predicament. You do all that, but if you train all your guys to pass rush, you can do all this cool stuff on the front side, but if you can get home on the back side, hey, that's great. This kid led the nation in sacks, and one huge reason is because of the problems we presented people on 3rd down. Same concept here. Making the ball come out pretty quickly. All right, we're a little slow. I'd like to be tighter here on this rush. Again, we got to do a better job with our linebackers, tagging guys in the gap to keep their eyes occupied. But sometimes when we're playing the zone coverage, those linebackers are really antsy to get out. Same call. Your DB actually, they had a step on him. But DB getting rid of it. We forced them that it was going to be a low completion percentage there. Here we're playing cover 2 out of that same call. The field overload. Going to bring him off the edge, bring him underneath, drop these linebackers out. Again, we'd want this D lineman outside the tight end, rushing. And we're playing cover 2. So deep half off the screen, flat. He's going to be an inside 2 player. He's going to be an inside 2 player, and our other linebacker is going to be our low hole guy. And then they are working off the quarterback's platform, those linebackers. So watch them. They see the quarterback catch it, and it's quick. You can see both of them react in this direction because they're working off the QB's radar here. Upfield loop. come off the edge. Get a hit on the QB. They're on 3rd and 5, and we're off the field. Same play. And that's all I got. If you have any questions, that was our 6th down front. I'd love to ask you, or I'd love to answer your questions. Again,
think of this, man, so much multiplicity with how you do this. But of course, you want to